Online course creator shares his knowledge about how to create and sell online courses. Today I'm happy to share with you my chat with my old friend Johnny Beirne. Johnny's a specialist online course creator for the last 7 years. In our chat, he talks about how to decide on your course content, what tools and platforms to use, how to promote it, and how to monetize it. I know some of you will want to create your own online courses and knowledge products, so you really should check this one out. See this and other great interviews at selfmakers.com/show. Enjoy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Self-Makers Show. This is your host, ConorLyn.ch. Hi Johnny, how are you today?
I'm good, Conor. It's a pleasure to see you again after all these years.
Yeah, likewise. So Johnny, for people that might not know you, do you want to tell us about your background?
Sure. So I'm based in Carrick-on-Shannon in lovely Leitrim, and I have been creating and helping people create online courses for the last 7 years. Prior to that, I used to train and teach in social media, and we used to meet at events, you and I, and various other great people. And after a number of years of doing that, which it was very good to me, and social media was a very hot topic at the time back in, 07 or 08. I just realized, I suppose, I was teaching the same thing, even though I was enjoying it, but it was over and over, traveling around the country and different parts. And I was at a conference in London, and every speaker over the weekend had digital products. They were selling ebooks, online courses, and then from their online courses, they were selling high-ticket weekend programs where a group of people would actually get together. So being the nerd that I am, I said, this is for me. I want to be able to scale and essentially get out of the time for money trap. So I researched how to create and launch online courses, and I got so excited about what I was starting to learn and the trends I could see in that whole area. Like it's 7 years ago now. I just started to move away from social media and actually pivot towards helping people to create online courses, because I'd learned a lot the hard way. And I also was a little bit jaded, to be honest, with social media. I still love to use it, but my passion for teaching it and training in it began to dwindle. So that's what I do now.
Great. So similar journeys with regards to the digital marketing, social media. I did a lot of training, and then again after a while it became harder to get excited about it. You think people should know this by now. You think how setting up a Facebook page and getting started on Twitter, etc. So I can totally relate to that. So what type of clients would you have worked for in the past, and did they migrate across with you, or did you have to start finding all new clients?
Yeah, it was pretty much all new clients. When I set up the music business, downloadmusic.ie, which is gone since, I started to connect with people in various areas in the music business and in production and all that. And then when I set up Speakific, which was a public speaking platform, which I sold to a company in Belgium 2 years ago, I really started to get to know authors, speakers, trainers, and coaches. And they're primarily who I work with. So essentially knowledge brokers. There are people on my program who teach tin whistle, angel card reading, yoga, millinery, with hat making, and so on. But I'm beginning to focus more on, I have it kind of abbreviated down to STACK, which is speakers, trainers, authors, coaches, and knowledge brokers. So they're really the people I work with now. They're I suppose it's a natural progression for a lot of those, particularly because of COVID, but even pre-COVID, to what I say is to say it once and sell it often, which is the name of the free guide on my website. Shameless plug, but it is a free guide that people can go and have a look at. So I believe it's a natural progression for those type of specialists and experts, essentially, who already have a course or a book or a coaching program, or they have a few keynote talks that they give as speakers. Then get in front of the camera, and you don't even have to do that much camera work, and record it. And like the music business, you know, you could have a couple of number one albums in you, and it's only a matter of going to the studio, or in my case, having your own little home office studio and recording it and getting it out there.
No, it's really great. So you've started to niche within a niche. Will that be fair? So how did you, like, that's really great that you understand your business so well and the people you want to work with. And so tell it a bit about that and how you figure that out. And
sure. So the as a public speaker myself and setting up the public speaking business, and as a trainer, and I did some coaching programs to become a certified coach. So I love people. I love meeting people like you, and you know, I could name a bunch of people that you and I know, and I just love having that direct contact, as opposed to corporate, where the sales process can be long and oh, sorry, I'm not the decision maker, and we'll be back to you. Whereas if I'm talking to a speaker, they are their own person. The same with a trainer, an author, a coach, and I'd like to think I can talk with those people because I am a speaker and a trainer and a coach. I'm working on the book to publish it this year, around Say It Once, Sell It Often. So I plan to become an author. So I just like that space. I can learn from them myself, and I'd like to think that I am in some way one of them. So, you know, what do you speak about? What do you train about? So that's a natural progression for them and for me, and that's how it was established. I suppose when I launched my first online courses were in social media. The first one was Facebook for pharmacists, because I had a few pharmacy clients, and I thought, well, if I can onboard them, which I know 2 or 3 already, I can go after the pharmacy market as a niche. And that worked out really well. I mean, if you go to a pharmacist and say you've got a course called Facebook for Pharmacists, and again, this is back in April of 2007, you're going to get a little bit of airtime, you know, and phone time with them, because even calling them up and you say who you are from, you know, the training company, and the name of the course is Facebook for Pharmacists, and it will contribute to your CPD, and it's in line with the Irish Pharmacy Union guidelines on internet marketing, because I did my research. So, you know, anybody that's thinking about creating an online course, I have a formula that people can go through. It's not that scientific, but it takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do, but it'll help you establish not only the topic to train on, but the people to train it to. So that's how I picked them.
Yeah, that's great. The stack idea, just to come up with a grouping and be that clear on it, is great. You know, it just helps you focus. I think a lot of people obviously don't focus, and then they're all over.
Sure, yeah. And I mean, if you sell a product that you believe lots of people want, it can be very overwhelming for us as the business owner when you wake up in the morning and go, who am I going to target or call or visit or write to or email or whatever today, if it's for everyone. So even if it is for everyone, it makes it a lot easier if you say, right, for the next month, I'm going to focus on pharmacists, or I'm going to focus on speakers, and I'm going to go to events when they come back where speakers will be. It just makes it so much easier. And if you meet a speaker, then you say, oh, what do you do? Well, I help speakers create online courses. And they go, I'm a speaker. Maybe we should talk. So it just makes it very, very well, it makes it a lot easier for us as the business owner to focus, for sure, because time will get away on us if we don't.
Yeah, great. And so what did you study originally? Did you study business, or how did you become really good on business and technology?
Sure. So I did a degree in quality management, as it happens, in Sligo, in IT Sligo. But quality management back then, I was there from 91 to 96. Quality management back then was huge. It was huge. You could pick up the Times or the Independent, go to the job section and kind of go, yeah, I like to look at that job. Because quality was just huge. Everybody had to have it. There was new standards coming out. Eventually, it became everybody's responsibility, which became a big thing. And there's very few quality managers in companies. There are roles for sure. I suppose people start to realize there's no point in having somebody at the end of the process checking it when we could actually improve it at the beginning and during the process. Anyway, so my first job was in Ericsson in Athlone, but I always wanted to be a consultant, a quality management consultant. And I remember even asking before I got my degree to the head of school, what age do you think I could be to go out on my own as a quality management consultant? And I was 20 at the time. And he said, well, I'd say you'd want 6 to 8 years experience at least. So I said, right, I'm going out on my own at 28. And I did. But when I went to Ericsson, it was really in Ericsson in Athlone that I got my teeth into the internet, so to speak. This is 96. The 1st of July, 1996, I started in Ericsson. And there was a guy sitting across to me, and I could see him busily doing something. And I said, what are you doing there? He said, I'm making a website. I'm writing HTML. You're writing what now? And he says, it's easy. Look, you go, tag this and go, hello world,
bracket.
backslash and backslash HTML and all that, and body and backslash body and all that. I was just, as they say in Jerry Maguire, he had me at HTML. He had me at hello. So I started to learn how to build websites in my spare time when I was working in Ericsson, and I ended up putting the quality management system online because they were using the internet so much. So, but I always had somewhere in me, it was like, whether it was, the dream of having your own business or whatever. So eventually, I went out on my own in 2001.
Brilliant.
I left Ericsson, went to Galway for a while. Dad got ill and passed away in 2000. And a little local internet company or IT company who wanted to set up an internet division asked me to join them. And I did that for a year, and I went out on my own for a couple of years, and it was great. And then I joined the local enterprise office here in Leitrim for 3 years on a cross-border project. It was a big project. I think the budget was 1.1 million. But the plan when that was over, and that's how I got my teeth into social media during that project, because it was really taken off back then, and download music happened and Speakific happened. But so internet business has been in my sphere for a long time, even back to my first job at Ericsson.
I think it sounds, there's a lot of parallels to my own career as well. Probably about mid-90s, learning about the internet, seeing it emerge when I was finished with college, and then getting a job in an IT company around 97, and they were helping auctioneers and dentists and doctors with internet and software for their business. So it's you have a lot of parallels. But you went out on your own a lot earlier, so you've been working for yourself for nearly 20 years. Pretty much, So
you'd never think I was 63, would you?
So how do you like, is that more challenging now than it was? Is it getting easier? Is it how is it like being your own boss?
I love it. I mean, when I was doing the interview for the local enterprise office, Joe Lowe, who's the head of enterprise still within the council in the local enterprise office, he said to me, how will you feel like going from having no boss to having a boss? Kind of tongue in cheek. But I said, Joe, I'd be delighted to have just one boss, because when you work for yourself, you have a few bosses, i.e. your clients.
Yeah.
And I know you have a bit of flexibility, but you are responsible to a lot of people at the same time. So, but the business I'm in now, and for the last 7 years, creating online courses, it's a dream business, because when you make a great course, people go through it. Granted, they might email you a couple of questions, or actually they put the questions into the system. So it's a dream business for a business owner, because you provide the course, they go through it, answer a few questions, help them as best you can. But they're not on their own, but they kind of are. From the point of view that they're going through the material themselves, and hopefully they're executing what they're learning. And you could have 1,000 people on an online course, and it doesn't have major impact on your time, but it has a great impact on your income. So I guess I'm lucky that way, or I've created my own luck in that space. But yeah, when I wasn't doing that, for sure, it's tough. You're responsible for everything, and you're doing a lot of the things. You're keeping your bookkeeping going, and you're keeping the clients coming in. And people say to me, "Are you busy?" And I used to say, "Well, if I'm not busy doing the work, I'm busy looking for it, or I'm busy looking to get paid for it." So, but as I say, an entrepreneur is someone that's willing to work 60 plus hours a week rather than 40 for somebody else. So, I love it, it has its ups and downs. But I mean, what I'm doing now, and not that I'm grateful to be profiting from a pandemic, but I think 2020 was my busiest year in business, and I was delighted to be able to help training companies who had to shut down to open up again online. And lots of them had been thinking about it anyway. Lots of them hadn't, but now were forced into it. Even if they were busy giving courses with local enterprise offices, they were saying, can you do it online? And they were like, I can, but I have to figure it out first.
Yeah, great. So there's, you mentioned earlier about why you might do it and what type of people might do it. But if you want to talk for a minute about the type of tools and technologies, and how might you do it? As well as working with somebody like you, maybe in parallel with work with somebody like you, what kind of infrastructure or tools and platforms would be used?
Yeah, so there's thankfully a lot of choice. In fact, there's so much choice now that it can be a little bit overwhelming. And that's why I take people through primarily two types of setup for making their courses, one on a lower budget and one on a higher budget. And again, they both, even the higher budget comes in at under €1,000 for all the equipment that I have here. But essentially, the starting point is to pick your topic, and then decide, well, does it lend itself to PowerPoint slides or any type of slides? Do I need to do demonstrations? Am I teaching people how to use software? Am I teaching them how to use hardware, which is essentially demonstrations? So it's really to pick a topic. So I take people through 4 Ps. One is positioning. What do you know the best that you're best known for? The next one is the pain point. So what problem do you solve? What transformation does your course bring to people? What will exist for them after they take the training? And then people, what people have that pain and are willing to pay for it. And of course, passion then, are you passionate about the subject? Because you and I could create courses on social media, but we both agree that our passion for that subject is gone. So if you don't have passion for the subject, it's going to possibly even come through in your videos and in your marketing, and you mightn't be as excited about answering the questions as quickly as you should and all that. They're the 4 Ps that I take people through. And of course, price is another one. You got to consider, is it worth doing? And then you decide, well, is it me on camera? Is it me with some slides? Or is it just slides? And I would highly recommend that you need to be on camera within reason as much as possible, because it's expected. It's a great engaging experience for the student because they feel like you're there with them, and they get to know, like, and trust you a lot quicker. And they, and they're, because they feel like that you're there with them. So I made a lot of courses with a webcam, the Logitech C920. It's still one of the go-to cameras. There's the C920S that came out recently. You'll pick it up for less than €100. Lights are essential. I do joke with people that if you haven't enough lights, you'll look like somebody in a witness protection program. They'll barely be able to see you, and they won't recognize your voice. So it's important I can't stress how much you need a couple of decent lights. I mean, I could turn off the ones I have here and you'd see the difference. And then, a decent microphone, and just map out your content. The formula that I suggest to people is 5 sections with 5 lessons in each section, with 5 slides in each lesson, and the 5th slide is an example if you're using slides. And that just makes it quantifiable for you as the online instructor, the trainer, that you're not getting overwhelmed, because we tend to give a lot as specialists and experts and trainers. And we believe that if we give them everything, they'll love the course. But nobody wakes up in the morning going, woohoo, I'm going to buy an 8-hour course today. If you could teach them in 5 minutes, they'd be delighted. So, of course, we can. So I would suggest to people, particularly for their first course, and again, it depends on the topic, but 60 to 90 minutes. So if it's 90 minutes, it follows the 5-5-5. It's 30 videos, 3 minutes each, kind of the average length of a song. And then you record that and you publish it on a learning management system. There's about 500 learning management systems. So you would be familiar with a content management system like WordPress and Wix and Weebly and so on. So learning management is the same. It's a system, a website, essentially, software as a service, that allows you to upload your videos in the order in which you want people to go through the course. So you have sections and lessons or lectures. You upload your videos. You can upload PDF documents. So you have a number of workbooks that you have, so people could download what we call cheat sheets or resources. If you're teaching cookery, you might have a downloadable recipe that people can print out. They're all examples of cheat sheets or course resources. So you can have unlimited videos, unlimited students. They do all the hosting. They'll handle the payment gateway. You can log in then and see what students are on what course, what stage they're at in the course, any questions that they've asked. You can ask them to do quizzes to check in that they're actually learning. So the main ones are Teachable, Thinkific, New Zenler, or Zenler, but now called New Zenler, and Kajabi. They're the kind of go-to ones, and there's 500 or 600 others. Some people do look at getting a few WordPress plugins and hosting it that way. I'm not a big fan of that because there's a lot of moving parts. One plugin might break another. WordPress can update and everything breaks, that kind of. I love WordPress. I'm just not a huge fan of doing it that way. It is possible. You have Lifter LMS and LearnDash and a ton of others, but I just wouldn't be a big fan of those. So I use Teachable at the moment. You can start for free with up to 10 students. Give it a go. It's $39 a month. Thereafter, the commission goes from 10%. Their commission goes from 10% to 5% plus credit card, which is about 3%. So they'll take about 8%. So for $39 a month, you can put up all your courses. It'll host all your videos, unlimited students, handles payments. You can create coupons to give out to a school, a kind of a volume discount coupon. You can allow your students to be affiliates, so they get paid a commission if they refer a friend. That's all built into the software. So they're all great. They all do what you need. And then a few of them might have an extra couple of features or functions or bells and whistles that may be specific to the course that you're delivering and the students you're working with. But otherwise, any of them are good to get going. Kajabi is about $150, $160 a month US. So it's on the higher end. But as I say to people, if it's a cost, you're not using it properly, because if you sell 100 courses for €100, it's 10K. This should not be seen as, there might be costs for the first month or two.
Yeah.
But I just say to people, like, if you're starting a taxi service, you can't say I'm starting a taxi service today, but I'm going to buy the car in 6 months' time. There are a couple of fundamental costs that you will need to, but I think that you need to invest in, but I think they're negligible. Yeah. When you think of what you might pay to get somebody to build you some of these things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a great rundown of the tools and the various platforms. I know there's a lot of other ones like Udemy, and there's loads of other platforms for distribution. Is that something that you do as well, or what do you think about?
Yeah, so the main ones would be Udemy. Some people say Udemy, but Udemy because it's a play on the word academy. It's got about 50 to 60,000 online instructors. It's got over 50 million students. So it's the Amazon of courses, so to speak. So I know Amazon sell everything now, but back in the day when they started, they sell books. So Amazon and books is like Udemy and courses. So it's a marketplace. It also is a learning management system because you can publish your course in there. The challenge with Udemy is every course is usually on offer, which means that if you're charging 100 or 500 for your course, it's unlikely you get an Udemy, because you can opt out of the promotions, but then you're opt out of the marketing that they do. So you're typically looking at making anything from €5 to €10 because they take a huge commission. However, they have the eyeballs. So, I know people that's making from 1,000 a month to 40,000 a month on Udemy. Now, Phil Ebner is the guy on Udemy that's making $40,000 a month, but he's got over 70 courses. Yeah. So, he's got all his eggs in that basket. He's about 6 years on Udemy. It didn't happen overnight, but you can see the level of income. So what I would suggest to people is definitely have a look at Udemy, and Skillshare is another one. They'd be the two main ones. A few have tried and given up. Udemy has really captured it. So you can do it for research. You could type in social media, cake decorating, yoga, etc., and just see the sort of courses, the curriculum, or the feedback. You could even buy one for a tenner. I bought one on vMix, which is a type of software for broadcasting, last week for $12.99. And so it's a great platform for learning. But the challenge is that you should opt into the promotions to get the potential marketing, but you will be getting, as they say in the US, 10 cents on the dollar, so to speak. You never get the student's email. You can encourage them to go from Udemy to your website and maybe for a lead magnet to get their name and email, but typically it can be very difficult to get them from there to your website. Some people have managed, but see, Udemy are kind of monitoring that as well. They don't want to have a hole in their boat, so to speak, that they're losing people. So what some people do, and what I do is you can put a light version of a course on Udemy and the higher price version of it on your, let's say, your self-hosted, let's say, Teachable, with a link from your website. So what other people do is you can buy the courses individually on Udemy, or for a monthly fee, you can get all my courses, the same courses, through my my own platform, i.e. Teachable or Thinkific or Zenler or Kajabi. So there's different ways to do it. I know, for example, David McWilliams had a course on Udemy and then he took it off. And I think primarily for the reason that, like, his course, last time I was listening to him, it was about €500. So some of the big names in online courses wouldn't be on Udemy, because with respect, it kind of is more the bargain basement. There's great courses on it, and they do check the quality to a certain extent, but everything's always on offer.
Yes.
So we just need to be mindful of that. But it's worth considering, because when you think of what you need to do to promote and market your own course, obviously you're charging a lot more or you're keeping a lot more of the profits. So it's definitely worth checking out for sure. Even to take a few courses on something that you want to upskill in. And I know a very successful software company in Dublin who would take your Udemy courses on your CV into consideration. It shows initiative and that you're willing to learn beyond what you did in college and stuff. So there mightn't be a certificate out of it. But there's some wonderful courses on app development, and they are big courses because they need to be. There could be 8 to 16 to 20 hours. But if you want to go from being a social media person to an app development, or if you want to go from driving a taxi to be an app developer, they're what I call career courses. And you are going to have to put in the time,
The 10,000 hours, potentially.
The 10,000 hours, potentially,
So that's really, really interesting. And I've heard about people using the likes of Udemy as a signpost back to their own location, which you've referenced there, which is great. Is there any?
You can put a bonus lesson in at the end, and that's where you can mention your own stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Great. You mentioned there some of the leaders in online learning. Who would you see has been some of the top names in delivering online courses and online education
so the people I follow would be James Wedmore, Amy Porterfield. I used to follow David Siteman Garland, Pat Flynn. Who else comes to mind? There's a lady called Jenny Blackwell. She helps people create online courses for corporate. Following her. They would be the main ones. And then I follow a bunch of course creators, like Kat Karoy, who has Instagram Makeover. It's £297, really great course. So I follow people who have created courses in their space, and I follow people who help people create online courses. Because I need to keep up with the trends. And of course, I have my own insights on the whole thing as well.
Brilliant. And what type of trends? Where do you think it's going, and what type of things should people be watching out for in the next couple of years?
I think it's only going to become more popular and grow because of the affordability and the accessibility to the knowledge. I remember a couple of years ago going on to Udemy and buying a course for $10 on how to use a green screen, and instead of watching Netflix or whatever, just sat there on the couch and obviously I'm a bit of a nerd, but my point is that as I was watching, I'm going, I'm here on the TV taking a course that you couldn't do physically in Ireland, or God knows where you could do it. And of course, with COVID, you can't do it now anyway, but there was nobody doing a course on green screen in Ireland. So that instant access to just-in-time learning, the affordability and the accessibility. So I think it's just going to get more and more popular. And as employers start to take them even more seriously as part of your CV, it's just going to blow up. And obviously online learning is huge now, or at least blended, in terms of you go in for some lectures and then you do the rest online. So I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger. I think the technologies have become very affordable to allow people to get going in this platform. I think memberships is a big trend as well. Lots of people are taking courses. It's the same offline, but they don't implement the learning. So it's, as we call, the knowing doing gap. So they have all the knowledge, but they're still not doing it. So membership is where you pay a monthly fee. It can be $10, it could be $1,000 a month, but you meet in a group Zoom. So my program, for example, Say It Once, Sell It Often, we meet today every Friday at 12 o'clock for a group Zoom, and it's essentially for encouragement, accountability, and support. People feel part of a community. They hear the answers to other questions. They get to ask other questions, and it's a nice intimate, close group in a group Zoom. And yes, I have to turn up for it because I of course I like to, but it is a live. But they go through what they can go through in the videos themselves. So I think membership, a lot of course creators, like I bought a membership program about membership during the summer for $2,000 from Stu McLaren called Tribe in Canada. And I know 2 other people locally that bought it. So that's the possibility that a guy I've never met now I've been following him. And obviously you do your due diligence and read the reviews and stuff. But a guy in Montreal selling a $2,000 program.
He's cracked the Leitrim market.
He's cracked the Leitrim market. I mean, he can stop now. You know, his life is complete. So my friend James bought it, and another guy in Mullingar that's connected to me bought it as well. So it just shows you the reach. I did an event last year with Louise McDonald, who's a Facebook ad expert, and we did an online event called Reach More, Teach More. So she did the Reach More paid ads with Facebook, and I did the Teach More, where, you know, I mean, if you have €1,000 program, and you can sell it to 1,000 people. I haven't got there yet, but my point is that €1,000 isn't a huge cost for people who really want the training, the learning, the expertise. And 1,000 people online, Conor, as you know, isn't a big number, but that's €1 million. Even if it takes it 3 to 5 years, and it's not about necessarily the money either. It's the freedom that it gives you, because you could work a couple of hours a week making sure that the questions are being answered. And if you have 1,000 students, you'll have a team of 1 or 2 people who can give the boilerplate answers.
And I know that that's one of the issues I had with going down the course route for social media, is that it was so perishable. Content was so perishable. You'd be updating it almost daily or weekly because things were changing so fast. So it's great that you've gone into something now that is more evergreen. That means that things can last and stay on sale for longer. And then I think that's an important consideration for people, I guess, when they're choosing their course.
Yeah, if you're going to train, like the people that are still training in social media have picked a platform. So Kat Carroy has picked Instagram. John Loomer and Louise have picked Facebook ads. Other people have just LinkedIn, and they just live and breathe LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever it is. Because as you rightly say, it could be, the screen could be blue today and green tomorrow, and all your videos are out of date. So it was one of the reasons I got out of training social media. But if I was to go back, I would pick the one that I love the most. And keep that up to date. But it is, it is a course that's going to need more tender loving care, as opposed to marketing or sales, or even online courses. I go through a strategy and a framework, and the platforms might change, but that doesn't matter, because I don't teach the platforms. They have videos and tutorials that they keep up to date, that I signpost people to.
Very good.
You know, but at least when they come to my course, they may never have heard of Teachable, Thinkific, New Zenler, or Kajabi. And I go through the pros and cons of each of them, and I've used them all. And if a new shiny one comes out that I believe is worth learning about, I'll have a look at it, and then I'll make a judgment call. But I'll signpost people to the specific videos I believe they should watch, provided by the software provider. And it's up to them to keep them up to date.
Very good. And just kind of to wrap up, Johnny, any books or podcasts or any kind of source of fountains of knowledge that you kind of, I know you mentioned a lot of things there, but is there anything in addition to that you think a self-maker, somebody on their own setting up their business and trying to get going should listen to?
Yeah, so I have a free guide called Say It Once, Sell It Often. It's about 30 pages, but it goes through the framework in that guide that is the €1,000 course, or 997. Who do I listen to? I bought a book a couple of years ago called Teach and Grow Rich, which is a play on Think and Grow Rich by Danny Inney. Really great book on the trends, as we've mentioned, in online learning, and also why you should get started and how. So really like Danny and his style, and as I say, I listened to James Wedmore's podcast, Business by Design. It's more on the mindset and that side of the thing, but his success, he used to be a barman, and then his first course was, or his YouTube videos was on making cocktails and being a bartender. And the rest is history. He's making about $9.6 million a year now. Now he's got an agency now that helps people and stuff, but very, very successful online course creator. I like Stu McLaren and Tribe, the whole membership side. Amy Porterfield's got the Digital Course Academy. She's got a good podcast as well. I love Donald Miller's work on StoryBrand for marketing and your website and telling your story. Not specifically related to courses, but really, really powerful stuff.
I've seen that. Very good.
And he did his program online there in the summer, and I think it was $497 in dollars, and he had 5,500 people paid to watch that live over a weekend, and you got the recording as well. So, because he used to do a $3,000 ticket event in Nashville, so I think it's Nashville. So he took it online. So I love Donald's work as well. They would be kind of the main ones. Yeah.
That's brilliant, and I'm really.
And this guy ConorLyn.ch as well, as well. Yeah,
that's good. It's so good to reconnect. And how do people, follow you and check out your work?
Sure. Yeah. So the website is my name, JohnnyBeirne.com. It's spelled Beirne. It looks like Beirne, but it's actually Beirne. And you'll get the free guide there, and you'll have my email from that as well, and you'll probably get a few follow-ups to some additional free content. I have a Facebook group which is quite active called Say It Once, Sell It Often as well. But yeah, the website, get the guide, reach out to me. You can book a free call on my website for 15 minutes where we can do a rapid fire Q&A round of where people might be stuck in getting started, or they've started and now they're stuck with launching it, or they've launched it but it's not selling like it should, or they just want a bit of a sounding board. Sometimes, am I doing it right? And in a lot of cases, thankfully they are. So,
well, it's been fascinating to learn about all your new work, because it's been a while since we spoke. But it's hugely impressive. I'm delighted that things are going well.
Thank you.
I hope you have lots of success in the future, and we're going to start working together, hopefully on some project, because it would be great to do that.
Yeah, I'd love that, and thanks for the opportunity for today's interview.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. So, listen, Johnny, thank you so much, and hopefully talk to you again soon.
Great, Conor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Please subscribe for future episodes and join our community on members.selfmakers.com. At Selfmakers, we believe you can be your own business and achieve self-made success. This show is shared with you to help you succeed, so please share with others to help them succeed too. Please visit selfmakers.com and follow #selfmakers on social media. Bye for now.